Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the weekly live stream. Tonight, I have a good story for you. This is one that I've had in my back pocket, a story I've been meaning to tell for a very long time, ever since actually the first video when I started consistently posting here on YouTube. So, when I started the channel here, the original vision for the channel was for me to share some of my weight loss journey throughout the years. What I came to find was in doing that, it kind of drifted me back into developing food content, doing recipes, restaurant reviews, and uh, this story goes back to a specific segment of my weight loss journey. I'm not going to walk through all the different steps of my weight loss journey, but there was a certain point in the mid 2000s when I was pretty heavy into working out, and the whole everything that I was doing was I'm going to say this is all very unhealthy. So if there's any advice you can take from the live stream tonight, it's not to do anything that you hear me talk about doing in this video here. So what I want to say is I used to love what you guys would probably know as a cheat meal. So that's when, you go hard all week, you work out and go crazy, and then on the weekend you go crazy in a different way. You'll go to a restaurant or you'll eat out multiple times. Uh, this particular story is a story about the Olive Garden, and I believe it's the last time I went to the Olive Garden, and it was a cheat meal. So let's get right into what the meal was. So it was a cheat meal, and we were all going pretty hard. My brother, who might be in the chat, I'm not really sure. Uh, Tonight, I'll interact with the live chat, in real time. Keep lighting it up, talk amongst yourselves, and I'll check back in with the chat here and there. I want to tell the story and focus on that, and then we can kind of go off of that. But my brother Dom, who you'll see in the chat as Van Dominic, or maybe I'm not sure if he's going to be in tonight or not, but that dinner was pretty epic, and there were other people at the dinner. I don't think it's important who else was there, but uh, me and my brother were there, and I remember just being like, "All right, going all out. I'm going to get an appetizer. We're going to do the salad and breadsticks. We're going to do the tour of Italy, okay? And I'll walk you through what each of these things are because it's all pretty ridiculous. And I got dessert that night as well. So let's talk about the appetizers because I was actually browsing Olive Garden's appetizers, and it turns out, and let me pull it up on the screen here, they currently don't have the appetizer that I ordered. What it was, so you'll see here they have fried mozzarella. A lot of these things they didn't have then, but it was a trio appetizer sampler of the fried mozzarella, the calamari, and the toasted ravioli. Okay. So we're already talking about fried stuff. So fried mozzarella, fried calamari, and toasted ravioli. I remember also ordering this dipping sauces to go with the breadsticks. And it's basically where they just give you a bowl of vodka sauce, marinara sauce, and Alfredo sauce. Looking back, each course of this was disgusting unto itself, let alone consuming all of this within the course of one evening. So I want you guys to remember that. And like I said, starting this off, this is not health advice. This is actually what not to do. So do as I say, not as I did in this particular case. Okay, so that was the appetizer. Along with the appetizer, you get your unlimited salad and breadsticks, and the salad comes with that extremely greasy dressing as well as the breadsticks. Now, one thing that I definitely want to cover is that this isn't a discussion of whether Olive Garden is good or not. That was a discussion we had a different night. My opinion of the Olive Garden is that it's food that's engineered to be good. So if I'm out in the Midwest and I want Italian food, I might not roll the dice on a mom and pop. I'd probably go to a Olive Garden. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have that kind of level of comfort with it. So that's what happened there. So salad and breadsticks, and we were downing it. And around that time is when I found out that on the menu they had these drinks called Italian sodas. Now, if you're unfamiliar with an Italian soda, because I was not familiar with an Italian soda, being a 20 something, Italian person, the Italian sodas that I knew were things like Kinotto, Crodino, things that are like bitter. And then there are other things that are sweet, like limonata, aranciata. These are kind of like a crisp, kind of sweet orange or lemon beverage. The Italian sodas at Olive Garden were none of those things. What they were flavor syrups that would have some kind of uh, flavor syrups that would have like carbonated water. So like club soda mixed with, I think I was drinking the almond one. So Orzata or Oragat flavored uh, soda. And the thing about it was a dollar or two more than regular soda, but the refills were still unlimited. So here we are. We're eating these appetizers. We being me. I think for the most part, I was downing all that stuff by myself. Salad and breadsticks, and I wasn't bashful with that. These dipping sauces, and I got to remember to get this stuff off the screen so that you guys can see me talk and get my ridiculous facial expressions talking through this entire experience. So, so now we're through the salad course, and the dinner that I ordered, and I will bring it back on the screen. I don't know why I just took that off. I'm kind of, as we say, dumb. The dinner that I ordered under classic entrees is this tour of Italy. 3 OG classics all on one plate: chicken parmesan, lasagna classico, and signature fettuccine alfredo, all with homemade sauces made fresh every morning. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very tantalizing. But notice, I mean, if you think about these 3 dishes as far as the Italian American experience, those 3 dishes are probably the heaviest dishes that you're going to get at an Italian American restaurant. So I ate all that. Okay. So if we can keep count here, we got fried mozzarella, we got fried ravioli, we got fried calamari, we got salad, breadsticks. The the Italian sodas were flowing like wine or like water or whatever you want to say. And I mean, for all we know, there could have been wine at that table too. I don't remember. But we've had all of those things, and I wasn't done by that point. Now, I do have a tendency to overdo it, and kind of going on a little aside, my weight has fluctuated quite a bit. If you look back even 2 years ago, or actually now it's 3 years ago when I started the channel here, the I'm not in the same shape as I was then. And I know that part of it is the content here, but most of it is just not working out and not doing the diet thing correctly. And I know I got to work on that, and that's on me. But I know I have a lot of unhealthy habits, and I know that I have a tendency of being excessive. But this, I would say, is probably the farthest I ever took it in a meal. That night, I didn't get the tiramisu, which I'm sure wouldn't have been the lightest thing on the menu. I remember getting a chocolate cake, and I don't know. Well, actually, that would be a. I'm sure in this day and age, they have them online. Desserts. There it is. I found it. I found it. Chocolate brownie lasagna. I remember not being able to finish it. And here's kind of where the story gets interesting. And it's not, we've already covered the grossest part. So nothing gross out is going to happen here in this story. And plus it's just me talking anyway. So don't worry too much. By the time I started eating that chocolate lasagna, the fact that I had eaten all of those other heavy fried and heavy sauced things had caught up with me. And I remember not even really being able to pay the bill. like, and when I say that, I mean uh, eating to the point where I couldn't move to the point where I couldn't even reach into my pocket to pay the bill. Now I probably I wasn't as heavy as I am now, so it's not a matter of not being able to navigate that. It was literally I had consumed so much and I was so I don't want to say grossed out, but I was so like it was a strange feeling because I've overeaten a lot, but that was probably the most that I've ever felt like I probably shouldn't have gone as far as I did. So with that said, I remember Dom looking over at me and saying, "Hey, are everything all right here?" Like, I'm like, I just need to sit down. And it was probably the first time in my life that actually I had been vulnerable to that extent. And I looking back, we laugh about it now, but I remember being pretty miserable about it and just, thinking about, whether I should go do something about it or what to do. We did end up waiting probably for about a half an hour before we finally paid the check and then went on our merry way. And I'm sure by the end of the night I probably ate something else just because that's how ridiculous the mindset was back in the cheat day era. But that night at Olive Garden, and I'm sure there are details that I've left out, but between let's run through it one more time. So let's go backwards. We got the chocolate brownie lasagna. We got where's our we got our dipping sauces to go with the breadsticks. We had our unlimited breadsticks and salad. Yeah, which here it is. My favorite thing about the Olive Garden salad is Tom Sharpling talking about it back. I'm sure this is probably 14, 15 years ago when he described the dressing and he described the salad as being, iceberg lettuce with 1 carrot per cubic ton of of lettuce, and then the dressing is just vinegar. I always thought that Olive Garden's Italian dressing is like it's more sour than just drinking straight up vinegar. I don't know how they end up doing that. All right, so we had the salad, the breadsticks, we had the Italian sodas. Honestly, and this is kind of one of the points to my story. I think that the Italian sodas is what put me over, and I'll tell you why in a second. Tour of Italy, chicken parm, fettuccine alfredo, lasagna. We ain't done. We still got to go back in time here to the appetizers, fried mozzarella, calamari, toasted ravioli. So all of that in one meal within the course of whatever it is, an hour, 2 hours. The Italian sodas. So one thing that even to this day, I actually had this discussion with Cassie a couple nights ago. I never really liked drinking my calories for the most part. I always like to consume my calories by eating. So when I drink things that are heavy in calories, like sodas and even like Starbucks coffees and beers and stuff like that, I end up feeling fuller. Obviously, there's more calories in it, but I think the heaviness of those drinks actually like sits on me a lot more than if I were to. It works quicker than if I were to eat and have those same calories. It's hard to describe, but I think the fact that I was downing those almond flavored Italian sodas on top of all this stuff kind of just like literally weighed it down. And I tell this story not from a place of being angry about it. It's obviously lighthearted. I titled the video here, the last time I ate at Olive Garden. And this is obviously of no fault of our Olive Garden at all. They they did exactly what they were supposed to do. I walked into their restaurant and I ordered these things. They served me those things. They don't know that I had an eating disorder at the time. When I say eating disorder, obviously it's undiagnosed. Jeez, I gotta remember to switch that stuff off. I need somebody to help me control this stuff. If you want to do that, reach out. I can we can talk and figure something out if you're available Thursday nights. Anyway, they didn't know that they were dealing with somebody who had a binge eating issue. So I will say that they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and that is the story about the last time I ate at Olive Garden, and it's of no fault of their own. I think I would not I would not hesitate to go back to Olive Garden. But for the purpose of what I do here, there are other restaurants to eat at. And with that said, I want to talk about the content coming to the channel over the next week. I got a lot of fun things planned. Obviously, the chicken sandwich wars is carrying on. Next week's chicken sandwich on Monday, I think I have my first guest in the chicken sandwich wars. Should I tell you guys who it is? Let's see. Whoever we got in the live chat, we got 4 or 5 people here. If you want to know who the guest is, type something into the live chat. Say yes, me, or got Greg here. Hey, Greg. So, calories aside, the sodium count on that meal. I mean, honestly, even to this day, I probably should. I'm sure my doctor would have a problem with me saying this, but I don't really look at sodium too much. I'm not shy to season my food, but yeah. So Jessica from Dave's. Hey, how you doing, Jessica? So yeah, so the guest for Monday's Chicken Sandwich Wars is actually none other than my son Noah. We had an opportunity to have a chicken sandwich after school one day, and he helped me film that video. And it's a lot of fun. If you guys have been watching Chicken Sandwich Wars, the way I worked it in is definitely a lot of fun. It's going to be a really fun video for you guys. Tomorrow night, I got to read you the title of the video for tomorrow night because I'm really excited about it. It's probably one of the biggest videos I've done on the channel here ever. So I am very excited about this video, and it is, nope, that's not it. I've uploaded so many things to my channel that are coming up that it's ridiculous. Tomorrow's video is called I Let an Iron Chef Pick What I Ate in Philadelphia. So we went to an Iron Chef's restaurant in Philadelphia, and this is it was a big meal, and I let the chef pick every single thing that came to the table. It was ridiculous. You guys are going to love that video. Then next week, like I said, we have the first guest to the Chicken Sandwich Wars. Next Friday, I have another Italian sub. You guys loved the last Italian sub video. I had to do another one. In fact, it was one that was requested by somebody specifically in the comment section on that video there. So definitely make sure that you check that video out. This was Lyle's Hoagies is what I posted last week. Next Friday, we have that as well. I think next Thursday night is going to be the Thanksgiving special here on the live stream. So 7:30 next week. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving. Don't know exactly what the topic is going to be for that, but I will think of something over the next week. Last week we talked about family traditions, so I think this time I might focus on what I really like about Thanksgiving and what I like to do on Thanksgiving. Got a couple more messages in the live chat here. Greg Eckert, what was that your best meal in Philly? Oh, I can't answer that. You're gonna have to tune in to find out. I'm not going to do that to you. It actually, I'm going to say, was not our best meal in Philly, and despite the title, didn't live up to the experience at all. And I think that actually makes it more interesting to watch tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that, because when you see even how I open the video, it's something that anybody who trips into the video is going to probably watch at least half of it, which is the goal here on YouTube. So yeah, the best meal in Philly, if you go to the channel, I actually added a playlist for Philadelphia on my main page, and all the videos are linked in that playlist. The best meal that I ate in Philadelphia, I would probably say, is at that place called Cleaver's in Rittenhouse Square. Their Philly cheesesteak was so good, we had to go back. We ended up going back for a second Philly cheesesteak at Cleaver's in Rittenhouse Square. Let's see here. I ran through my story pretty quickly there. I wanted to go about 15, 20. Jared, been to a couple Iron Chef restaurants, most not great, more like aluminum chef. I like that. So I have a really awesome story for you. I'm going to pull up a picture. because I was actually working on a video earlier today about this, a YouTube Shorts video. While I'm here, let's see. I wasn't prepared, so I need a quick second to get this up, but it's definitely worth it because I have been I've been to multiple Food Network chef restaurants, and I wouldn't say they're all bad. The Actually, this experience was amazing. So let me share. There it is. There you go. So that is Chef Alex Guarnaschelli. Back in 2013, Cassie, for my birthday, took me to Butter Restaurant in New York City. And I always, like, at the time, Alex Guarnaschelli was probably one of my favorite personalities on the Food Network. And it was actually really fun. I joked around like, oh, we're probably not going to see her, but what are we going to do if we see her? And this is kind of a funny story too. So we're eating our dinner that night, and we did the chef tasting dinner, which um what it was a really amazing thing. All they really did, though, that it was a very good meal, but it wasn't particularly composed. Basically, everything that they offered, they gave us kind of a small portion of, which was good because you got to taste everything on the menu that night. But I when I see a chef tasting dinner, I kind of want something that's a little bit more personalized, if that makes sense. I guess maybe a local restaurant here spoiled me a little bit. Yono's. When you go to Yono's, you make your reservation. They ask you a lot of questions, and they actually tailor the meal to exactly what you want in your specifications. I guess now thinking back, I'm being unrealistic. In New York City, they don't have the capacity to do that kind of thing. But it was really cool. So about this picture, so, Chef Alex actually was walking around the restaurant, and she stopped over at our table, and we actually took the picture with her after. I was being bashful and didn't want to ask to take a picture with her, but she said, "Do you guys want a picture or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, and you could even see I'm being awkward. I'm being awkward just sitting there like that, and Cassie kind of hunched over a little bit, but so this is the fun story about Alice Guarnaschelli. She told us she had just gotten off a 12 hours filming Chopped, and she was the judge on Chopped. And the last thing that she wanted to do was cook or even talk about food. So I followed her on Twitter a lot, and every night she would tweet about what episode of The Sopranos she was watching. Because and I told her, I try not to be a fanboy when I meet famous people, even though I was pretty starstruck that day. But I started talking to her about The Sopranos, and literally she stayed at our table for 10 minutes and talked to me about The Sopranos, and then told me like a couple of stories about how Prince used to dine in her restaurant, and at the time Prince hadn't passed away yet, and where she used to seat him, which was actually like it's like right from where the picture was taken, where Prince used to sit when he ate at Butter Restaurant in New York City. So that was actually, I would say, probably my best Food Network chef interaction. Actually, my only. I don't think I've met any other Food Network chefs. I got a story in the chat here. Guy Fieri told Dave to put a money back guarantee on Philly cheesesteaks. That's probably a good idea. I got to come in and try Dave's Philly cheesesteak because I'm sure it's amazing. And if you don't know, the Dave being spoken about here is Dave from Dave's Gourmet Burgers in Schenectady. Very good place. Reviewed that a few months ago. I can't believe how fast the time is passing. It's amazing. I'm looking back and I'm looking at the content for the channel. I haven't done a cooking video since July. So I've really got to get back in the kitchen. I have some time off over the next few weeks and months, and that's kind of the plan, is to get back into some cooking videos. I know you guys have been asking for that, and I've been doing a lot more dining videos, just because it's been a little easier to put together. The cooking ones take a little longer, and plus I do the voiceover with the mic now and stuff, so there's a lot of production that goes into it as well. Let's see. Yeah, I'm really happy with the fact that you guys had some stuff in the chat. We have a recommendation here for that Philly cheesesteak, the Philly garlic. Okay. I know Dave was telling me that he has some organic special garlic that he uses for his sauces and burgers and stuff. So that's really cool. I'll have to try that. So yeah. What else is new with me? I don't know. I feel like I have a boring life. I know I have a YouTube channel here, and the our Thursday nights are our time to get to know each other. And I think actually tonight you guys got a pretty deep dive into my psyche and got to know a little bit about some of my worst habits. I think, and some of my shortcomings as a human being. You know, I not proud of the fact that I ate myself to the point where I couldn't move at Olive Garden, but you know, kids. Do veggie. Yeah, I know. I was actually looking at my I'm gonna read out the comment. Do more veggie prep video. They do some innovative stuff. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I was looking back at my channel just to look at the layout and stuff, and I know I have a whole playlist of vegetable prep stuff there, and I do have some stuff in mind that for stuff that I want to do. It's just been time has been my limiting factor. Um, I'm not going to apologize, but I do have it in the plans, and that feedback is important. So thank you very much, and I will definitely get on that. What's my favorite thing to cook? Great question. It really depends. I think if we're going to talk about favorite meal to cook, my favorite meal to cook is breakfast. I love coming up with things like hash, where I'll just raid the refrigerator and just start dumping things into the frying pan and seeing what I can come up with. Everything with fried eggs. That's kind of my favorite thing to cook as far as uh, if I'm going off the cuff. Uh, I like to cook pizzas. I've been doing a lot of pizzas lately. I've been posting on Instagram, trying out different people's pizzas recipes. I tried a Kenji Lopez alt Serious Eats Sicilian pizza recipe with a no knead dough that came out amazing. The only complaint that I have about it, if you're going to Google that, is that he has a cooking time of 10 minutes in a 550-degree oven. I've already cooked it twice, and each time it's taken at least 20 to 25 minutes. So I don't know where he comes up with the 10 minutes, but I did everything that he said, including put the rack all the way at the bottom of the oven. I've tried using the convection setting in the oven, and it's the 10 minutes is not what's practically cooking that pizza. I know I see more people coming into the stream. That's pretty awesome. We've already told the Olive Garden story, but I am here to uh, answer any questions that you have and maybe talk about some other stuff we have in the stream here. Greg Eckert, I agree. Veggie prep videos do well in January. Greg, let's talk about that for a second. I kind of nerd out a little bit on the YouTube stuff. Um, I I think I'm starting to learn how YouTube works now in terms of the recommendation system, in terms of getting videos out more and more. So I think I've tried to do it where I have videos that I do for resolutions. Like 2 years ago, right before the start of the pandemic, I recorded a video on meal prep. What I was showing what I do is how I make my everyday meals with like chicken, broccoli, or string beans and rice, and how I pack those and how to reheat them. And the video flopped. I think it's still sitting at something like 20 views, and it's still up on the channel. Like, I don't take videos down for the most part. The only videos I've ever taken down are things that really don't fit with what the channel is anymore. Um, and even those, they're unlisted, so you could still probably find them if you had a keen eye. But I think now I have a little more of a strategy to do that if I'm going to actually do some cooking videos in January. But yeah, I'm going to be recording some stuff over the next 5 or 6 weeks and probably deploy them in January. And vegetable recipes, I think, would be a good one. And so you're right. That said, videos come out of nowhere sometimes. I have a video right now that I made a year ago that I wouldn't say did poorly last year. It was eggnog lattes. I posted it in the beginning of December, and the whole idea was, people are going to Starbucks spending $5 or $6 on an eggnog latte, and you can make it at home for under $3 at a pop, and it's pretty simple. It's not as simple as just pouring eggnog into coffee, because of the fact that there's so much fat. You have to manipulate it a little bit. But that video is going crazy right now, and I found out why. The reason is that Starbucks discontinued the eggnog lattes this year, so people are searching for it, and they've come across my video, and it's come out of nowhere. So yeah, I do think that um, January will be a good time for those vegetable recipes, but I'm not going to make you guys wait that long for it. As they're ready, I'm going to actually post them, just because I don't want to fall into the content planning trap. Jared, what kind of pan did I use for the pizza? So this is a rectangular sheet pizza, like a Brooklyn style Sicilian pizza recipe. So I used an aluminum. Um, I don't have a cast iron that's that shape, but I think you're probably onto something. The cast iron would probably help it to cook quicker, but it doesn't call for preheating the pan. So it might actually take longer to get the heat through that mass as well. So I don't know, but I do. Cast iron pizza is another video on the channel. It's going crazy for the last like 2 years. So I love cooking with cast iron. Charlene, hey, how you doing? This is somebody who I recently followed. We're in a group together on YouTube tips and on Facebook, and she does these baking recipes. I think today she posted a recipe making a sweet potato pound cake. And I watched that video and I said, this is absolutely delicious. My wife's a baker too. And, especially this time of year, she's always making stuff. She doesn't like sweet potatoes so much, but she loves to make stuff like that for our son. So I might sneak her that video link and get her to make that. It looked awesome, Charlene. Let's see here. I have a poll. I'll end the poll and we'll talk about the results. Excuse me. I can't see the poll. What's the point of that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So we had 6 votes in the poll. Do you like Olive Garden? 83% of you said yes. 16% of you said no. That's very interesting, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to pull up some other results for the poll. So I posted the same exact poll on my channel yesterday. And out of 21 votes, 33% said yes and 66% said no. So that's very interesting. So the people tuning into the live stream are not necessarily the same people that are voting on the polls on YouTube. That is something to nerd out to. Very interesting. Oh God, I'm looking at this stupid tour of Italy on my other screen here. All that talk about Olive Garden, like I everything I talked about and going into that mindset of, oh my God, I almost ate to the point where I, almost had to do something about it. Like I felt grossed out for a second, but now all that stuff sounds really good. See, this is the problem with, I'm going to say having an eating disorder, is that you don't stop thinking about food. And it's also crazy, like even thinking about content, every time I go somewhere to eat, I'm like, this would make a cool video. It's kind of, I gotta kind of separate how I do the day-to-day eating stuff. But I'm winding down. I'm kind of starting to lose my voice a little here, guys. So I'm gonna kind of end it there. With that, I will say, thank you so much for your support. Everybody who showed up in the live chat tonight helped me extend this out longer and hang out with you guys. I really enjoyed that. You guys asked a lot of really cool questions. We talked about a lot of really cool topics. I want to urge you guys, if you're not caught up with videos on the channel, please do that, because it helps it get out to other people. And that's kind of the goal here. I have links in everything. If you have some way you would like to support the channel further, I have merch. This is the merch drop that we have. I have a book based on this logo is my logo along with my dad's logo from his deli. So it's kind of a pretty cool heritage thing if you want to pick that up. But I also have a cookbook at Buy Me a Coffee if you want to pick that up as well. Um, Anything you could do to help out is really appreciated. The channel's growing fast. I looked at where we were subscriber wise last year. We weren't even at 500 subscribers at this time. I think now we're approaching 1,500, which is amazing. And it's all because of you guys, and I know I show up for the content here, but it's you guys who are showing up to watch it. So thank you so much for everything, guys. And with that, next week is going to be the Thanksgiving show, and I'll give you guys something highly personal and fun that we can riff and talk off of. And with that, have a great weekend. Tomorrow, the Iron Chef video. Don't forget to watch that. And we will see you next week.